The night rain fell like 1,000 quiet tears, soaking the cracked roof of a small, forgotten house at the end of a muddy street. A man stood at the doorway, holding his little daughter in one arm. Across from him stood a girl, shivering, wet, and clearly lost. He didn't know her name. He didn't know where she came from. He only knew she needed help. He had nothing to offer except a roof that leaked and a heart that had learned to break in silence. But what he didn't know was that this one act of kindness, letting a stranger in for one night, would change everything he and his daughter had ever known. Sometimes, fate knocks in the form of a stranger. Open Book Chapter 1. The Night She Knocked. Rain poured heavily over the quiet town that evening. The streets were nearly empty except for the sound of tires splashing through puddles and distant thunder. In a tiny house with broken windows covered by old newspapers, Adam held a mug of warm tea in his hand, sitting beside his 6-year-old daughter Mia, who was wrapped in a faded pink blanket. Adam wasn't just tired. He was exhausted from years of trying to be both a father and a mother. Since the day Mia's mother had left, life had become a daily war between survival and hope. His job at the construction site barely paid enough to keep food on the table. But every night, no matter how tired, he would smile for Mia. "Daddy," Mia whispered, tugging on his sleeve. "The roof's crying again." Adam laughed softly, even though inside he wanted to cry too. "It's just the rain, sweetheart. We'll fix it one day." That's when they heard it. Knock. Knock. It was soft at first. Then louder. Adam frowned. No one ever came this late. He walked slowly to the door, his boots splashing in the water that had seeped through the floor. When he opened it, he saw a girl, probably in her early 20s, drenched from head to toe, her clothes clinging to her like second skin. Her hair was plastered to her face, and her hands trembled as she held her arms tight around her. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice shaking. I don't know where else to go. My car broke down the road. I've been walking for hours. Please, can I just stay somewhere warm until the rain stops?" Adam hesitated. He barely had enough for himself and Mia. But he looked at her. Really looked. She wasn't lying. Her lips were pale, and her eyes carried a fear that didn't need words. He stepped aside slowly. "Come in." Mia peeked from the corner, curious. "Daddy, who's she?" "She's just someone who needs help," Adam replied softly. The girl smiled weakly at Mia. I'm Lily." Adam gave her a dry towel and some of Mia's extra blanket. It wasn't much, but it was warm. She sat near the tiny gas stove, rubbing her hands together. She didn't act entitled or rude. Instead, there was a quiet gentleness in her. "Thank you," Lily whispered. "You didn't have to." Adam şuruk. No one deserves to be out there alone in the rain. The night passed slowly. Mia fell asleep in her father's lap. Lily watched the small, flickering flame of the stove. Adam noticed how she seemed to carry something heavier than just wet clothes, like a storm inside her. "Where's home?" Adam asked quietly. She hesitated, then answered, "Far from here." He didn't push. They were both strangers holding broken pieces of their lives in silence. What Adam didn't know was that Lily wasn't just lost. She was running away from a life most people could only dream of, a life built on wealth, but not love. Woke up on the old couch, wrapped in the warm pink blanket Mia had shared. For the first time in weeks, she had slept without fear. Adam was already outside, repairing a broken pipe with nothing more than tape and determination. Mia ran around barefoot, laughing. Lily watched them and felt something unfamiliar. Peace. She had grown up in a mansion where her every wish was granted. But what she never had was this. A father who smiled for his child. A home filled with warmth instead of marble and silence. When Adam walked back in, wiping his hands on his shirt, Lily said softly, "You're a good dad." He chuckled. "I'm just trying." Lily bit her lip. She wanted to tell him the truth, but how could she? How could she explain that she was the daughter of one of the country's richest men? That she'd run away after refusing a marriage arranged for power, not love? For the first time in her life, she felt seen not for her last name, but for the girl she truly was. Later that afternoon, Adam offered her some bread and tea. Lily looked at his hands. Rough, calloused from years of work. Hands that had built, fixed, and carried. He asked for nothing. He expected nothing. But she noticed things. The empty cupboards. The old shoes Mia wore with holes at the bottom. The way Adam avoided talking about himself. "Why are you helping me?" Lily finally asked. Adam paused. "Because I know what it's like to need someone and have no one." That broke something in her. She told him everything. About her father, a powerful businessman. About the mansion she grew up in, where love was bought and freedom didn't exist. About the night she decided to run away from the life everyone envied but. Strong message: kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything. You never know whose life your small act of love might touch, or how it might return to you 1,000 times over.